is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your mower off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all those that are listening live. We are live right now. Hope everybody's enjoying their Wednesday afternoon. It's a little bit rainy here in South Carolina, where I am right now, but I hope everybody is having a great day. Today's topic is not a very comfortable topic to talk about, and I'm pretty sure all of you have heard, about DeShaun Watson. There's some recent news that has come up. A 24th woman has come forward to add her name to the list of individuals that have, filed a lawsuit against DeShaun Watson. There's also another story that came out courtesy of the New York Post talking about how DeShaun Watson could be accused by more than 66 women. He has solicited massages from 66 women over a 17-month span. There's also a report that's saying that the Houston Texans, had an NDA with DeShaun Watson and allowed him to use a hotel or a room in order for some of these massages to take place. And everybody's talking about, the Cleveland Browns and how the Cleveland Browns went all in for DeShaun Watson and how they made him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history with his 5-year, $240 million contract, or 230, I can't remember. But, the New Orleans Saints at one time were one of those teams that were in the running. Us, along with the Atlanta Falcons and the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns won that sweepstakes. But this is about the New Orleans Saints dodging a huge bullet. I mean, this was a very, very huge bullet that the New Orleans Saints dodged. I mean, this could easily have been the Saints being accused and criticized in a court of public opinion. Look, I don't know how this situation is going to pan out with DeShaun Watson. It don't look good. The more people come out, the more guilty he's going to look. I choose to reserve my judgment till all the facts come out. I know that's not the popular decision in today's society. We like to say what you see is what you get. But it is so hard, not to look at this guy differently. It's hard not to look at this guy in a different light. Regardless to if these allegations are true or not. It's hard for you to look at this dude the same way. Is unfortunate because DeShaun Watson is one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the modern day NFL. There's a reason why, there was a split in Who Dat Nation during a time where the New Orleans Saints were in the sweepstakes of DeShaun Watson. Some of the reports were saying that the Saints were starting to get cold feet. I don't believe that, because I just feel like if DeShaun Watson would have been okay with the terms the New Orleans Saints were willing to give him, he would have been a New Orleans Saint today. So I just feel bad for all the women out here that have to look at this situation and have legitimately been sexually assaulted. Now, I'm not saying that these women haven't been, but imagine you looking at this situation and you have been through some of these situations and you have to look at this, and it creates trauma in their lives. I kind of knew this was going to happen, and I apologize, Who Dat Nation. I know I'm not as energetic, but this is not one of those topics where it's comfortable to talk about. But I knew that they were about to turn up the heat on DeShaun Watson when HBO Real Sports documentary came out about him. Like when they did the story and they did interviews with a couple of those women that were accusing DeShaun Watson of sexual assault, I said they about to turn up the heat on this guy. And I knew it was going to happen because we're starting to get closer and closer to the regular season. Like football season is just around the corner. Like we're less than 100 days away from the NFL season. So everybody is focused on the National Football League right now. Everybody is focused on whatever team that they're cheering for. They're looking at the storylines. They're reading all the articles. They're trying to get themselves geared up and hoping and praying and wishing that their team is in that playoff contention for a chance at a Super Bowl championship. And the more NFL stories come out, more people are going to start paying attention to the NFL. So by putting these stories out right now, everybody focus are on these stories. And the Cleveland Browns, I can't fault them for wanting to go all in on can't miss talent. I mean, it's no different than your favorite college football team, your team getting a free agent. It's no different, because the reality is the NFL is a business. It's a business. It's a business where fans come to the game and they pay their hard-earned money to watch a product, a winning product. And as an owner, you want to make sure that you give the best product you possibly can to the fans. So I can't knock them for wanting to do that, especially if you look at the Cleveland Browns and you look at their track record of ineptitude. Like this is a starving franchise. Like there's not much prosperity taking place in Cleveland when it comes to the Browns. And when you have an opportunity to get a guy like DeShaun Watson on your team, you're going to try to do everything that you possibly can to get him, just like the New Orleans Saints did. Now, we can laugh at the Cleveland Browns today, and I see the jokes, but this could have easily been the New Orleans Saints. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm having this topic right now. And I know some people are probably saying to themselves, well, he's not playing for the Saints, but it could have easily been the New Orleans Saints. And I have to say today that the Saints are one of the luckiest teams in the National Football League. I'm going to say that again. The New Orleans Saints are one of the luckiest teams in the National Football League, because not only could this have ended bad for the New Orleans Saints, but there could have been a strong possibility if you would have signed DeShaun Watson that you wouldn't have had opportunity to retract and sign Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston still being there, I mean, was saving grace for the New Orleans Saints. Like Jameis Winston or not, I guarantee you the most critical Jameis Winston fan on this day will tell you that I'd rather have him than DeShaun Watson right now. The Saints are lucky. They're lucky that this didn't end up being them. So I don't know how this is going to transpire. I'm pretty sure that DeShaun Watson is probably going to be missing the entire season. He's going to be missing some games, right? Because the NFL doesn't like this type of publicity. And it's not so much about the cases. Look, he went to court. They dismissed the cases, right? But at the same time, you got the court of public opinion. And if anybody knows this, we know that the power of social media is strong. We've seen social media take down titans of industry, top-notch filmmakers, top-notch actors, elite of the elite. We've seen this by somebody just typing in some characters and the mob mentality erasing and canceling individuals. So the NFL has that going against them. I don't know what they are going to do, but I know this. It's not looking good. But I can tell you somebody that's probably smiling right now. They probably got a smile the size of the Grinch that stole Christmas. It's Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has the biggest smile on his face right now because the Cleveland Browns were so quick to try to move on from this guy, talking about he needs to be the grown-up, talking about how, he needs to mature, he needs to understand that this is a business. But guess what? Baker Mayfield right now has the biggest smile on his face because not only did the Cleveland Browns go to Vegas, put it all on black, and look like they about to crap out right now, but there's a chance where they may not have DeShaun Watson or Baker Mayfield. So you're really setting your team back years. I mean, I can't blame the Cleveland Browns because, once again, this is a business, and I understand it from that aspect. But, man, you talking about a swing and a miss. My goodness. But it's not the New Orleans Saints. I'm fortunate. We're fortunate that this is not the New Orleans Saints because it could have easily been them. Like the Saints were waiting. Like the Saints were waiting for DeShaun Watson to make a decision. I mean, think about this, man. Like you're sitting in a waiting room waiting for your name to be called. And he chose the Cleveland Browns. So it was the luck of the draw for the Cleveland Browns. And luckily, I bet this is one of those gambles the Saints glad that they lost. But I would love to hear from you. I want to read some of the comments. Thank you all for being here. I asked that everybody hit the like button. And I'm going to take some calls, man. I'm going to take some calls in just a few minutes, just a few. I want to get your opinion on this DeShaun Watson situation. I want to hear from you. And honestly, I know there's a lot of female listeners and viewers of the State of Saints podcast. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to know where your mind is right now. I want to know what you think about this whole DeShaun Watson situation. So don't be afraid. You know, if you want to talk about it, I would love to hear from some of the female listeners and viewers of the State of Saints podcast on this episode. But let me go ahead and read some of the comments, and then I'll put the link down in the chat so you can chime in. We're going to start with Ghost187 says, I know this is a sports cast, but I want all y'all to be safe out there. A lot of people have been passing these last few weeks. I got love for you all and hope you all are having a good week. Well, Ghost, yeah, man, it's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of course, we know gun violence going on in this country right now. There's a lot of suicide going on too, man, from some of the people that a lot of people consider being strong individuals. And, they got that saying, and it's becoming like a little bit of a cliche, But they say check on your strong friends, man. Sometimes you got to check on those people, man. Those people that seem like they got it all together. Check on those individuals, man, because you never know what people be going through, man. And sometimes social media is a blessing and a curse because it's a blessing. It gives us the opportunity to interact with one another and be able to, create relationships, rather we're close or far away. But also, man, it can play a huge role in our psyche. That's why, sometimes it's good to try to unplug a little bit from social media because sometimes people looking at other individuals, they feel like they got it all together, and you start comparing a person's highlight to your own personal life. And sometimes you can get in your own head. And some people, man, they take those things to heart, man, and they make decisions that they can't take back. So check on your people, man. Let somebody know that you love them today, man. Sometimes, we like, oh man, I know this person know I love them, but sometimes it's okay to just say I love you and I appreciate your existence. Let people know that today. So I agree with you, Ghost. Thank you for that, man. Happy we didn't win the Watson sweepstakes. He may have a couple of good years in Cleveland after the lawsuits and suspensions are over, but we are looking to win now and take advantage of our age and pro. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a sweepstakes that we glad we lost. You're absolutely right, Ryan. The Saints are in win now mode, and you have to, I mean, there's some great things that happen in the process. And I have to say that I don't think that it would have happened if DeShaun Watson wasn't in the equation. Like, think about this, folks. The New Orleans Saints were aggressively pursuing this guy, so much so that they were calling individuals on the phone and asking them to restructure their contracts. Guys that are on the New Orleans Saints team, they're restructuring their contracts, and they got it down to almost nearly $30 million in cap space. Also, they can try to be in that number, no pun intended, if DeShaun Watson decides to sign with him. He doesn't, but look what came afterwards. You were able to sign Tyrann Mathieu. You were able to sign Jarvis Landry, right? You were able to get some of those guys up in here to make your team better. Who knows that the Saints would have came up with this strategic plan if DeShaun Watson wasn't in the equation. So not only did this work in your favor by him not signing with you, but it also helped you land some top-notch Pro Bowlers and all pros on your team. And you were able to sign all of your rookies without any problem. No problem. Like we didn't have no contract situations with Chris Olave coming up with a number, Trevor Penning coming up with a number, Lante Taylor, none of those guys, right? You were able to do business as usual. So this was a blessing in disguise. I don't know, man. When teams are coming up with ideas to try to bring guys in, sometimes when you're sitting in a room, you come up with these plans. And a plan may not work out the way that you want it, but look what happened in the process. And the Saints still got some money left over that can possibly roll over to next year, going up against the cap, where they're probably going to have to go through it again, or they can go out here to add more pieces to help this team win. Will we even be talking about Odell Beckham Jr. right now being in the equation? Will we even be talking about Jarvis Landry being on the team of Tyrann Mathieu? So that was a win also. And that's something that we need to consider as well. That helped the New Orleans Saints, and I don't think they would have came up with that idea if DeShaun Watson wasn't on the table. They wouldn't have tried to restructure the deals or aggressively move guys' contracts around to make space for him. But they made space for other guys. Any type of abuse towards women is wrong. Look what happened to Ray Rice's career. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. I think that with Ray Rice would have still been in the league if they didn't have no camera. If they didn't have videotape of him doing this, it would have all been he said, she said. Because stories are not the thing that's really, well, stories are, but more times than not, video evidence is the deciding factor of taking individuals down and creating cancel culture. Because Ray Rice would have still been in the league if they didn't have that videotape on that elevator. I really believe that. But it basically tied the hands of the National Football League, and there was nothing more that they can do. Kareem Hunt, I don't know how he was able to weather the storm. I mean, that was pretty obvious too, but I don't know how he was able to weather the storm. But videotape does take a lot of people down. Ray, they gave Winston every weapon he could ever dream of. Yep. Was Watson getting rubbed and tugs from dudes? I don't know if he was getting rubbed. I don't know. I don't know if he was doing that or not. I don't know what exactly happened. All I know is they said that he asked for more than 66 massages over a 17-month span. And also he almost had like somebody working as almost like a wrangler for him. And some of the women weren't even licensed masseuses. This is what is being said. This ain't here. Well, this basically was the story that's coming out right now, saying that some of the women weren't masseuses, right? They were just some women that he hooked up with off Instagram, which I said before. You are worth more than almost $100 million. This was before the $200 million contract from Cleveland. Why are you moving like you broke? I'm just being honest, man. Why are you moving like you broke? Like DeShaun Watson decision making on the field is really damn good. His decision making off the field is god awful. Like awful. Like, why would you even put yourself in that type of position? You're DeShaun freaking Watson. Like, you don't have to hit girls up and slide up in their DMs and stuff like that to solicit women. You know, like, look, this may be very uncomfortable, and this may, you know what I'm saying, be controversial with me saying. The dude may just be addicted to sex. I mean, it's not no maybe. If he's talking about his being consensual and all 14 women, maybe you do have an issue with sex. Guy may be a sex addict. The problem is that the women said that they felt uncomfortable. This is my thing though. I know people are talking about, you know, the multiple partners that he had and all that kind of stuff and talking about it's disgusting, this, that, and the third. But think about this for a second. Okay, there's a guy that we celebrate, a guy that is a legend, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain is not just known for having 100 points in one game. He's not just known for averaging almost 50 points a game. What he's known for is a guy that has had sex with over thousands of women, right? But nobody seems to say anything about that. Now, imagine in modern day society, would Wilt Chamberlain be able to get away with these type of situations? Another guy, a guy that's a legend, a guy that a lot of people look up to and admire about being a philanthropist and an entrepreneur, Magic Johnson. You know, who had, you know, who was diagnosed and contracted HIV in the early 90s. Got interviewed and said that he had, you know, sexual relations with like 6 women at one time. In modern day society, would he be able to get rid of that? How will we look at these individuals today? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a strong possibility, because I got to reserve my judgment till all the facts come out, that the guy is just simply addicted to sex. I mean, it's pretty, I won't say it's pretty obvious, but there could be a possibility that he's just addicted. And his addiction is something that just caught up with him. I don't know. I mean, but that's something that is a possibility. And you have to say that until he has his day in court. Because right now it's not looking good, okay? Regardless to if he did it or not, you having sex with all these different women and your bedroom escapades and your conquests are now on public display. It don't look good, right? I don't know. Okay, but I'd love to hear from you, man. And this is no way me trying to defend Deshaun Watson, but I'm just saying, like, until like he has his day in court, we have to like. I mean, as well within our right to have these type of thoughts and these different, type of these different type of feelings. Because I can't just come out here and say, yeah, he did it. I can't do that, man. I just can't. I cannot come out here and say that the dude did it because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But I do sympathize for the women that have been through this situation. And this stuff is starting to create trauma in their life, right? Because maybe somebody thinking back to a point in their life what has happened to them. So I sympathize with it. I sympathize with that. But we about to go to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing, man? Thanks for being here.
What's up, hey, what's happening with you, bro?
I'm doing just fine, man. Thanks for spending the afternoon with me, man. Appreciate that.
Likewise, brother. But TJ, everything you just said, you completely took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you this, and shouts out to everybody in the chat. It is a blessing, a true blessing, that the New Orleans Saints did not get this guy.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. It is a true blessing in disguise that the Saints did not get DeShaun Watson to come to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I tell you why. Because of all this stuff that's going on right now,
right.
with the Watson with these ladies. I mean, bruh, come on, bruh. Seriously. But from my perspective, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I'm blessed.
Right.
As a Saints fan, that we did not get this guy.
Yeah. I mean, the dude is an incredible talent. And
yes, he is.
Jerry, we had like several episodes when the Saints were in the Sweet States, and you have to say that it was split. And honestly, man, shouts out to Maddie Hudak, man. Shouts out to Maddie if she's watching this right now, because I kind of changed my perspective when I listened to Maddie's story, man. Maddie, she told like a very revealing story about a situation that she's been through, and it made me think about that, man, because I love the New Orleans Saints, and Jerry, I know you do too, man. You've been supporting the team for a long time, but it made you ask the question, like, what's the cost of winning? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the cost of winning? Like, is it worth you actually going down this rabbit hole to try to get a guy? And like I said, he's talented as all get up, but is it worth just feeling good, like, okay, man, we won this game. DeShaun Watson threw 400 yards, but the feeling that he excites from people that have been victims of sexual assault, man. I had to ask myself that question, man. And I mean, to answer your question, man, I'm happy in a way that it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy, not the fact that, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't get down with the whole public opinion type thing. I reserve my judgment till the facts come out. But the emotion that this situation ignites in a person, like, I feel like that would have been an issue. And regardless to how he played on the field, I mean, somebody would have felt, like a victim. And like I said, man, Maddie's story kind of changed my perspective of that, because I was like, at the beginning, I'm like, okay, man, like, this dude probably can bring something in there. But then I started to retract after I realized how this can make a person feel. I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on that, man? Your thoughts on like the possibility of alienating the fan base? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, TJ, like I said before, bro. Had something like this happen, if we would have had to get Watson, I mean, we would be in the same situation with Cleveland, right? We would be in the exact same position if we had Watson. And thank the good Lord above, it did not happen. Because, bruh, the Saints are having a great offseason, and I don't care what the media say about we having an awful offseason. I don't care what they say. The Saints are having the best offseason ever.
Right.
The best offseason ever. And thank God that we got somebody like Jameis Winston as our QB1. I mean, some gonna like it, some will not like it. But the
Right.
fact is, Jameis Winston is our guy, and
Yep.
completely not DeShaun Watson.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have, the fans gonna be out there. I mean, some have their different opinion, and some
Right.
gonna have theirs. But
Mm-hmm.
overall,
Right.
we're blessed,
Yeah.
and that's all there is to it, TJ.
Yeah. Jerry, before you go, man, I mean, man, you're a God-fearing man. You'll go to church, man. So you appreciate the story here, man. I mean, there's a story in the Old Testament, and I apologize for people that may not be as, religious, but
Preach.
about Abraham and Isaac, right? You remember when Abraham brought Isaac up, the mountain for a sacrifice, right? He was going to sacrifice his own son, right?
Yep.
And what happened was when he was about to strike him, God stepped in, and said, Abraham, do your son no harm. Behold, you'll see a ram in a bush. That's where that whole term comes from, a ram in a bush, right? So my whole point is the Saints were willing to sacrifice and alienate the fan base for DeShaun Watson. But it didn't happen. Cleveland
didn't happen.
Cleveland stepped in as the ram in a bush. And in the process, the sacrifice, like they didn't have to sacrifice the fan base, alienate them at all. And like I said earlier in the podcast, it helped them out so much, man, because I don't think, Gary, they came up with this type of strategic plan to move money around because they had opportunity last year. You remember like how they were just stretching it? They had to get rid of Emmanuel Sanders, man. They had to get rid of Janoris Jenkins, all these different dudes that was helping and had really good years and that would have helped the Saints navigate through last season. They had to get rid of those guys because of a cap hit. Would they have come up with this type of solution if DeShaun Watson wasn't on the table? So, in a process, that man, Cleveland saved these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I look at it, man.
Exactly, TJ, and y'all and everybody knows in the chat. Good old Mickey Loomis. Talk to this. Shout out to my man for the sports coma for doing for that.
Yeah, man.
But through it all, TJ, I mean, what you said earlier, I mean, hey, we just grateful to Who Dat Nation. This is my address to the Who Dat Nation. This is truly a blessing for us because had we had Winston, we had Watson, our offseason would have been upside down, like Cleveland. Right. So thank God. So thank you, Cleveland Browns, for snatching DeShaun Watson instead of the New Orleans Saints. Right. Thank you.
They were the ram. They were the ram in the bush in that story. That's all I have to say. So hey, man,
and you mentioned them. I mean, now look at the additions that we got.
Yeah.
And without getting Watson, I mean, look, we got Matthew, we got Landry, we got Olave in the draft, we got Penning in the draft, we got a few other new guys that we got.
You was able to re-sign Jameis.
Yeah,
you was able to re-sign Jameis to a deal.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, look, man, we got a squad, TJ.
Yep.
And it would have been very difficult with Watson on the team.
Right.
Very difficult. But thank God, bruh, it did not happen.
Yep.
It did not happen. So Who Dat Nation, once again, I'm gonna say it again, we're blessed.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely right, Jerry. And I thank you for that, man. That is a true statement that you said, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for chiming in. Call back anytime, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, TJ. Once again, shouts out to you and your family. Shouts out to everybody in the Who Dat Nation in the chat. I love y'all, man. Y'all my people every day. And don't always remember this, Who Dat Nation and TJ, the Saints are the ones.
The ones. Everybody else, the twos, and the Saints are the ones. Appreciate that. We the one. Jared, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that, man. Take it easy.
All right, TJ, you be blessed, brother.
All right, you too, man. I mean, yeah, Jerry is right, man. Yeah, they definitely dodged the bullet on that one, man. Definitely dodged the bullet. I'm gonna keep the train moving, man. We're gonna go to Hassan. Hassan, how you doing, man?
How you doing, TJ? What's up, man?
Man, I'm doing just fine, man. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me, and thank you for being patient. DeShaun Watson, man, what do you think about the situation or anything else that you may have on your mind?
Hold on, turn my camera on. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's crazy for what DeShaun Watson going through right now, bro. Cause like, it's like, look, I like DeShaun, bro, but like, if you assaulted 66 different women over over like 17 months, bro, like that don't sound right, bro. And plus, I ain't gonna lie, I'm so glad we did not get him because like all the stuff that he got going on coming to New Orleans and everything, bro. I mean, you know, bro, like it's crazy, dog, right now for him. Like, I feel for him, but if he really did this, bro, he just needed to just come clean, bro. You know?
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this, Hassan, before I chime in what you just said. At any time, when the Saints were like in that sweepstakes, were you on board with the Saints signing him at any time?
I ain't gonna lie, yeah, I was. I ain't gonna lie, me and my auntie, my cousin was like, you know, we was like, yeah, you know, we'll take DeShaun down here. You know, he's a good quarterback. You know, I wanted Jameis back, but I was like, you know, if you know DeShaun Watson come down, he come down here. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, my cousin, he a Browns fan, so like you know, like he a Saints fan, but he a Browns fan also.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, for what they going through right now, I'm so happy it's not us because our offseason would have been upside down. Like I feel for Cleveland for what they going through and everything, but I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy right now for them.
Yeah. And then on top of that, man, something that a lot of people aren't paying attention to, man, they gave up some first round picks. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave all that stuff to the Houston Texans, man. So if this dude don't play this season, it's basically like you just gave up all that for absolutely nothing, man. You know, like so.
Right.
Man, it is tough to be a Browns fan. Like, look, like I said at the beginning, son, I completely understand why they did it. Like, it was a business decision. You know, you trying to pack a stadium, man. You trying to put your team in the best position to win. I understand why they did it.
Right, but, you know, I understand it too. I ain't gonna lie, I understand too. Like, you know, you trying to win. I understand that it's a business, but like I said, for people who blaming the Browns for all this, you really can't blame the Browns because DeShaun Watson had a no trade clause. He can choose his own team, so you can't blame the Browns for all this.
Right. I mean, they were only looking at it from a business aspect. I mean, they say they did their due diligence, but this 24th woman that came out, it don't even seem like DeShaun Watson legal team even knew about this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like they seemed like they was kind of like side swipe by it. But hopefully, Cleveland Browns got something in his contract that basically states like if he wasn't like forthcoming with all the information, then maybe they can void out his contract. Maybe that'll be their way out. And maybe they negotiated that with the Houston Texans. So maybe they'll be able to get their first round picks back. I don't know. All I know is this is bad. And the Saints are extremely lucky, man, that Jameis Winston was still there. Jameis Winston, if he ain't tear his ACL, there would be nowhere in the world that dude would still be on the market. That's the only thing that saved them. That Jameis wanted to be in New Orleans and he understood business. And I think that's commendable by Jameis because Jameis could have easily been like Baker Mayfield. They're like, oh, man, y'all going after him? Nah, man, y'all can go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can miss me with that. You know? But Jameis was willing to do business, and I respect that.
You know? Right, you know? But I ain't gonna lie, TJ. I'm like, I want to ask you a question. How does this look on the NFL? Like, how does this look on the NFL point of view?
To me, it don't look bad as people trying to make it out to be. Because here's the thing. He went to court, okay? And the cases got dismissed. So, honestly, what can you do? And then on top of that, that can set them up for litigation. You know what I'm saying? Because he can sue them Because if he goes to court, he gets off, and basically you're suspending this dude based on outcry. But you go to court and they said none of that information was valid enough for us to indict this dude at all. Like, think about this. At the time, it was 22 women. And you throw that case out, so what can you do? So I understand why they're actually kind of like reserving their judgment too, because they can set themselves up. Like, you mess around and start listening to public opinion, you might find yourself like losing more than what the Cleveland Browns losing $230 million. So that I can't knock the NFL for that, man. Like, people like, man, they need to do something. What can you do? Like, they can't do nothing but be just like us, wait for all the facts to come out in order for us to make a decision, in order for them to make a decision. So I'm not knocking the NFL for that. I can't do that. And I don't think anybody else should either. And I understand, like,
nobody else should either. Like, for real, like, because people were like, oh, they gave him 230 some mil, I guess, with 80 million guaranteed, and DeShaun Watson contract is guaranteed money for like next year. He's gonna get like about 80 million, I think. So like his money is all guaranteed. So
all of it.
There's nothing the NFL can do. Like, all his money is guaranteed. So there's nothing the NFL can really do. Be like, you know, people talk about, oh, take the contract away from him. He didn't deserve it. Like the girl saying, oh, he can only scramble and run. Okay, we understand that, but you can't blame the NFL for the Browns giving him that money. And plus, I want to know where the Browns got all that money from. I already know they like cleared the Odell contract.
Man, they trash. They been trash. All them rookie deals, like all the players that got, man, the boys on rookie deals, man. They haven't got paid yet.
Except for Miles Bridges and Denzel Ward got paid though.
Yeah, Denzel Ward just got paid. I mean, but all those guys on rookie deals, man. But think about all those years of ineptitude, dog. Ain't nobody was checking for no Browns, bruh. Like, so they had money. They had money. When you get all those like top 5 picks over the years, man, and you ain't paid them dudes yet, of course you're gonna be banking. Look at Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville got money. All the teams that have been losing over the years, if you notice, man, look at their salary cap. They got money because they get a hold of guys that have not got their big payday yet. So that don't surprise me. And you got who gets the majority of the money, Hassan? The left tackle, right? They ain't paying Baker Mayfield, right? So now, since you paid DeShaun Watson, you might, you know what I'm saying, you might take a little bit of a cap hit, but you know, I mean, they have money because they suck.
You're right, bro. You know, but it's just crazy for what DeShaun Watson going through. Like I said, I'm so glad he did not come to the Saints because look, like a dude said on the last chat. Look who we got. We got Olave. We got Tyrann Mathieu. We got Jarvis Landry. We got a couple other guys that we signed. We the rookies signed their rookie deals without no problem and everything.
Yep. Wouldn't have had that. Wouldn't have been that easy, Hassan, if they would have signed DeShaun Watson. I'm just, I mean, to be honest with you. But Hassan, man, I got to go ahead and go, man. But thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for your information, your comments, man. Call back anytime.
Thank you. All right, everybody stay safe out because a lot of stuff been going on down here in New Orleans a lot, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, man. Be safe out there, man. You take care of yourself. You and your family.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, man. Take care. Yeah, man. Look, yeah, man. When a team is not very good, I mean, they gonna pile up money, you know, and they're gonna have enough money to throw around. And when your team has not been that good, like the Browns have been over the last, 30 years, of course you're gonna have a high salary, you know, because you ain't really paying nobody yet. So Myles Garrett just got paid. Denzel Ward got paid. DeShaun Watson got paid. And now you got like a bunch of like young, like, you know, wide receivers, like, you know, you got Njoku out there, you got Peoples-Jones. So yeah, man. You still got some guys that's still dealing with them rookie deals. So Mocha said Myles Garrett just got paid too. Yeah, yeah. But when you're not paying a quarterback, defensive end gonna make some money, but he's not gonna make as much money as the quarterback if you got a franchise quarterback. he ain't about to make more money than unless you know, Aaron Donald or something like that. Which that's like the only person, like one of the only people I feel should be, be breaking bank, because he's one of the best players, if not the best football player out right now. We're gonna go to Prime, man. Prime, how you doing?
I'm doing beautiful. How you doing, my brother? You doing good today?
Man, I'm doing just fine, man. Thank you for being here. What you got for us?
Okay, before I talk about Watson, I just wanted to say, if you have people out there in your family that you love, you shouldn't wait till a funeral, because I was back home in New Orleans last week for my niece's funeral. She was 43 years old and she died of a brain aneurysm.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
So you just tell your people you love them every day. Now, as far as Watson is concerned, I never wanted him in the first place, because I know you heard the old adage that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen, because we wouldn't have been able to get none of the people and all the things that you said done if we would have did that. I've always had faith. I've always liked Winston. I even liked him when he was playing with Tampa, because if you go back and look at his highlights at Tampa, two of his biggest downfalls were not having a consistent offensive coordinator. 4 or 5 years he was there.
We talking Jameis Winston, right? We talking about Jameis, right?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
We talking Jameis Winston. Okay.
And he didn't have a good defense all the time he was there.
Okay.
But when it comes to Watson, man, look, you're right. You might be a sex fiend. That's on him. And I'm glad we didn't get him, because could you just imagine that circus? If he would have came down to the Saints, they would have been more focused on him than the team trying to improve themselves. I'm glad we're not a part of that circus. I really am.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I just knew, I knew this was gonna get bad. I'm telling you, when I seen that Real Sports or HBO docuseries about those women, and I seen it just came out, I was like, man, this ain't over with. This was a plan, man. I mean, the legal team, they was on it. They understood that football was just around the corner and eyes is going to be on the NFL. And they came out with these stories and they rolled out this package. They probably was sitting on this for months. Man. They probably already knew about the 24 woman. They probably knew they was going to come out with it, and they were just waiting for football season to come around. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns were thinking. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they thought oh, it's all over with. No way. I knew it was going. I said, man, this ain't about to end good. And like I said, I'm glad that this girl has anger issues. In a way, it was a good thing that happened for the Saints. You know what I'm saying? In two different ways, like I said, with the contracts and everything like that. But man, I mean, I don't think that it was worth the price of alienating your fan base and possibly causing your team a lot of media scrutiny too, man.
Oh yeah, this is gonna get more uglier than what it is now. Oh, yeah. And the amount of money they gave up for him, if he don't get them 3 Super Bowls in a 5-year span, that's really wasn't good. Because man, could you just imagine how many players that could have got added to that team and
yep.
And look like they're not thinking with their head, because let's go to Baker Mayfield for a minute. First of all, when I heard the story about he did something in college or somewhere and the police was coming and he ran and left his girlfriend there to explain, that showed me right there that he wasn't a real man. And second of all, he did so many commercials like he had already won a Super Bowl. What the hell is that? What the hell is that about?
Look, regardless to how you may feel about Baker Mayfield, I guarantee you the Browns would be more than happy to have Baker Mayfield right now than DeShaun Watson with all this stuff going around. With Baker, man, I just feel like Baker got the short end of the stick. I always think, man, I always have a problem with teams get a little bit too big for their britches, man.
Right.
It was almost like back in the day, man. I went to Jackson State. Jackson State, we had a coach Rick Comedy, man. Rick Comedy had the Jackson State Tigers in the SWAC championship every single year. Then all of a sudden, they just decided to fire the dude. You know what I'm saying? This man won more games over 4 or 5 years than anybody.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you hire a guy who hasn't been a head coach in 20 years. I was like, man, when do we become Alabama? You know what I'm saying? For us to be going out here to try to get rid of a coach that give us prosperity. Who are the Cleveland Browns a team before Baker Mayfield got there was 0-16. The first game that they won the following season, Baker Mayfield was the starting quarterback. So I'm like, who are y'all to get to a point where y'all feel like y'all are you know what I'm saying, like certified like that for y'all to get rid of a first overall pick and just completely just toss this dude to the side?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make another comment. I'm not gonna hold up the fact that you went to Jackson State. I'm a Jaguar myself. Yeah. And that's where I became a Sigma, crossing those burning sands back back in '83.
Okay,
so,
man. Oh,
hats up to you, Swag. Yeah, you're right about that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm like
hey, Prime, real quick, man. People in the chat are saying that they can hear your TV in the background. If you can turn it down just a little bit, man, so we can hear you a little bit better. Man. But yeah, man. I remember them days, man. I crossed that Jackson State spring 07. But hey, go ahead, man. Are you there, Prime? I think we may have lost him, man. I'm gonna just put him on hold for the time being, and we're gonna go to Chosen. Chosen, how you doing, man?
Doing good, TJ, man. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it, man. What you got for us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, before I get started, I want to tell everybody, and you included, TJ, man, love you, man. You and the family, bro. I love that.
I love you too, man. Appreciate it,
man.
You
take time to come up with these topics and discuss things that the media and everybody like to shy away from. That's another reason why I love this show, man. We were family here. We bring it to the forefront, and we have a who drank my apple juice moment. You know.
Right.
I love the fact that we do that here, man.
Yeah.
And you know, and everybody in Who That Nation, man, I love y'all, man. Like I say, man, tell everybody your family, grasp one another, tell each other you love you, man. Now, let's get into this, man. The thing about this is, bro, I know everybody say hindsight 2020 and all that, but we gotta look at it, bro. We are lucky we dodged the bullet. And not only us, man, you gotta look at Atlanta. Shit, Atlanta damn near had a family reunion in the front office. They brought in all the big guns. Atlanta
man,
should
them
be
boys brought in a whole dungeon family.
Else. They brought out rappers. They brought everybody, man. They brought everybody, and you know what I'm saying. So the Panthers, they try to sneak their little way in there, like y'all was running behind that girl too. When y'all found out that she got the cooties, y'all ran behind her too.
Right.
So they wanted. So it's but I'm glad that it worked out the way it worked out. But again, it's bittersweet. I'm happy for the team and happy for the personnel, but the girls that has to go through this trauma, if everything's true, if everything is what it says it's be and claim to be, your heart goes out to those girls, man, because that caused a lot of trauma. That's things they got to live with for the rest of their life. It could affect how they talk to people. It probably could affect relationships they have, relationships they wanted to have. And you don't know if this is the first time or second time. Sometimes victims they witness this type of behavior more than once. You know what I'm saying? Then you have to ask yourself, if this is true with DeShaun Watson on a more personal level, what did he go through, or stuff like that? Maybe he needs to seek some counseling or therapy. If this is true, you have to ask, well, what's your story? Because everything is always caused by something. And I think you mentioned the sex. I think you mentioned the sex addiction thing way before this, TJ. I think when the Saints when it first came, I think you mentioned, well, maybe he just has a addiction with sex. I think you mentioned that the very first time, bro. So it's crazy that that's brought back now to the attention, bro. Because at first when you're first saying it, you may feel like, well, damn, what TJ going with that? But now it's starting to make sense. You see that number 66, bro. That's not no a few girls around the neighborhood, man. That's a lot, bro. And considering the history and everybody saying the same thing, you make it believable.
Right.
Yes, you're innocent till proven guilty, but man, it's like it just looks bad. We already was talking about how bad it looked on him if it wasn't true, just by him being mentioned in that how bad it was gonna look. Can you imagine if all that's true?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
any way you slice it,
go ahead.
Any way you slice it up, Chosen is bad. Like if the dude didn't do it, I mean, it's still like a sex problem, bro. Like seriously, like ain't no like. I mean, look, as much as you know, what I'm saying like you can like a woman, like man, when you doing stuff like that, bro, like soliciting women like that, like off, you know what I'm saying, off the ground, all that kind of stuff, bro, like. That's just not a good look, man. That's just not a good look. And at the most, you know what I'm saying? Like this dude was like one of the most respected individuals, like as far as his character and stuff like that ever. You know what I'm saying? To come through the league, he was up one of those guys. And
right, especially off the court, like off the field, right? Like what he doing like Walter Payton kind of conversations, like as far as I see him giving out J's and buying shoes and giving food and stuff. So he was a community guy. You know, so it kind of stains and tarnish what he does. Like now you're gonna be looking more forward what he did on the bad side than his upside. You know what I'm saying? And TJ, also back to the Saints, bro. We talk about like last caller said, you putting all your eggs in one basket, man. I feel like we say we'll be looking like the Cleveland Browns. TJ, I'll go a step further. I think we'll be worse because we wouldn't have no quarterback. You wouldn't have that capital that you put in, so we wouldn't have those wide receiver pieces. We still had to address that, and I don't think we get Olave. I can go that far, bro. I don't think even Olave would be in the picture. So you got to think about it. Those guys would just lose out on a quarterback. We would lose out on a quarterback, no receiver, no draft capital because we gave it all away for to get Watson, and then you still got to look at missing Kamara with a possible suspension. That's what we would have been facing. We would have been worse. I feel like we would have been worse off out of everybody who pursued DeShaun Watson. And if this would have took place now, if we would have had him, I feel like we would have been the worst because we already was scrapping and crawling and borrowing money and digging between the couch to trying to find something to get this guy. Right. And you lose him and you give away everything. We talking about starters. We talking about CD Deuce on the chopping block. We talking about everybody. Remember all those guys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of starters that we're going to have to give up for this guy. I get it. It's a business. It looked worth it then. But looking back, do we really want to sit back and say, well, damn, bro, we gave up all that and no DeShaun Watson, no Jameis, no receivers now, and possibly no way to trade up to get like a Chris Olave. We still would be banking on the 19th pick. Yep. You know, so I can take it a step further, man. It's just crazy how that timeline, things could have altered that timeline and things could have changed. So Saints dodged the bullet, bro. So you have to do the homework. And the NFL, bro, they're going to have to do their due diligence with more investigations and getting their head out of this stuff quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the NFL like to take their sweet time with stuff, bro, and it makes them look bad. I'm not blaming it on the NFL, but it's not looking good, bro. Like, pretty soon people gonna want to start suing the NFL next for upholding behavior that they don't have no control of. So I feel like the NFL need to do their part too and get off there, you know what, and try to get out on a lot of this stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with that, but once again, man, I mean, what can you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like if your girl, you know what I'm saying, if your girl cheating on you, right? And somebody come to you and say, man, your girl cheating on you. You know, like you ask somebody, man, you cheating on me? No. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you think about it, all I can do is just take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know, they said that you was out here. You know, like, well, where you was at? I'm telling you, I wasn't there. I was over here. What can you do?
And TJ, but on the funny note on that, do you know what they're gonna say? The first thing they say, who told you that?
Right.
Don't worry about it. Is it true? Is it true? Don't worry
exactly.
About it.
But I mean, but look, if you look, all you can do is just take their word for it. And
right.
When you go to court, bro, like that, like about it, like go to court, you get off. You know what I'm saying? 22 allegations at the time. You get off on all 22. What can they do? You know what I'm saying? What they, you know what I'm saying? What they gonna suspend you for tweets? I mean, come on, man. Like that don't like. Come on, man. Like that's basically at that particular time, it's equivalent. And I'm not saying the situation. I'm talking about the way of thinking. It's equivalent to like if I don't know, PJ Williams play bad or something like that, and be like, man, PJ Williams need to get benched, and the Saints just go up to him. Well, PJ, I was looking at Chosen Kingston's Twitter page. He said you need to get benched, so we're gonna go ahead and sit you down. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like that, like it don't make like you can't do that, man. And look, there's always gonna be some outcry somewhere about some situation, and people have to be careful with that. So they got to do their due diligence, and they can set themselves up for a lawsuit too, man. Like, come on, man. Somebody accused yo. Like, think about this. Your job say that you did something, right? Man, chose. I heard that you did this, man. We're gonna go ahead and have to let you go. We got to suspend you, and you ain't do it. What you gonna do, man? You gonna be calling up somebody law office or something like that, man. Like, hey, man, look, they unjustifiably fired me or suspended me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they might end up losing more than $230 million. So
you're right, bro. So yeah,
they gotta wait,
man. So it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Somebody not gonna be happy. Everybody, both parties, somewhere, somebody not gonna be pleased. Whether
man,
it's
can't be.
Alleged,
You'll never.
Yeah, whether it's the alleged victims, whether it's DeShaun Watson, whether it's the Browns, whether it's the NFL, somebody not gonna come out. Everybody not gonna just be happy with the end result. It's unfortunate, but somebody gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, just bite the bullet on this and just be what it is. I hope that is not true for the sake of Deshaun Watson and charisma. And if it is true, I hope those women get their justice. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So it's like you don't know until evidence come out. That's why I like how you like to sit back and let things play out. You don't just jump at first sight of news.
No,
you sit back and you let this thing play out. Yeah, you gotta let this thing play out, man. You gotta let it play out. And we all need to let it play out, because I remember when we keep them receipts, everybody was on a Deshaun Watson trail, and justifiably so. We didn't know all this was gonna go down. But now that you get the information you get and you feel a certain type of way, you have to be objective and you have to call what's right, what's wrong is wrong, based on the facts, though. You can't just go off and he say, she say. If it's true, then you got to do something about it. But if it's not true, then you got to find a way to make this right. But that's all I got, TJ. I know you got other callers, man.
Nah, man. Chosen, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the opinion, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for your comments, and call back anytime, man.
Yes, sir. Who that?
Who that? Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, I reserve my judgment to everything, like to the smoke clear. You know, that's just the way that I roll, man, because people lie. You know, like people lie. I mean, I'm sorry. I know people might get mad at me, and we live in this world today for some apparent reason. When people use logic, you know, people start getting mad and start accusing them. Man, accuse me of anything you want, man. The fact is, people lie. People lie, man. People are disingenuous. People look at people bankroll. People look at people money. They see that they can actually have opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They become opportunists. You know, and it could be a case where, you know what I'm saying, like DeShaun Watson just a narcissist and a liar. But whatever happens, I'm going to reserve my judgment. And I just think that everybody should do it too. I just think sometimes the white noise and it clouds our judgment, and the opinions of others become our own opinions. And we start to feel guilty because we're not feeling that same way. I'm sorry, folks. I will never be like that. I will never be like that. Although I am very sympathetic. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I'm very sympathetic to every woman, any woman who has had this type of issue, who has been a victim of sexual assault. I am very sympathetic to every last one of their cases. But we have to be real about the society that we live in. We see people capitalize on situations all of the freaking time. We see individuals get time in prison over lies that were told about them. I mean, anybody remember Brian Banks? I asked that everybody, you know what I'm saying, go and check out the Brian Banks story if you have not already. The promising guy who had a scholarship to USC ended up getting lied on by this girl that said that he sexually assaulted her. He went to prison, did prison time. Life was in shambles, life ruined. And it turns out he didn't even do it. So there are cases like that. I'm not saying that this is the case, but we also have to take that kind of stuff into account. That's all I'm saying. I mean, just reserve your judgment. I know it looks bad. I know it looked bad. It looked bad. And the more individuals come out, the worse it's going to look. But I'm reserving my judgment. Back rubs would be a much lesser issue. Dude said he wanted around the Okay, yeah, y'all seen it. A lot of former players saying they can count on their hand the number of people they worked on their body their whole career. 66 women in a span. Let me see, 66 women in a year span is ridiculous. Nate, absolutely. Like, look, at the least, the dude is a sex addict. At the least, okay. And he even came out there. He said that a lot of the the cases were consensual. He's not denying like meeting up with some of these women. He's saying that, and he's not denying like the sexual contact. What he's saying is it was consensual at the time. So at the least, the brother got to go head out to Hattiesburg somewhere where Tiger Woods went for some sex therapy. Like and like I mentioned before, like and Chosen even said this. Maybe this brother has dealt with some trauma in his life, man, that got him to this point. Hell, maybe he just capitalizing on his fame because people do that, right? You know what I'm saying? They get with these women. And they use their fame and they cash in and they check marks and blue checks and all that kind of stuff to get themselves in a room, and maybe that's just the case. I don't know. But at the least, if nothing like foul happened, the brother's addicted to sex. I think that's pretty fair to say. Didn't they say Watson asked one girl to massage his prostate? Yeah, I mean, among other things. I just told Big Low Country that the Falcon dodged the bullet with DeShaun Watson. Same with the Saints, way better off. Yeah, I agree with that. Nate says, I know guys that have to register as sex offenders for doing way less than this man has done. We can't say has done. Like, that's the thing. Like, when we say like has, like has done, like it's like we saying, look, I can't do that. I got to use the word alleged. I don't know what he did. I mean, I know he had sex with these women, but I don't know to what extent. I don't know if it was consensual. I don't know if, they agreed to it, felt bad about it later. You know what I'm saying? Came back and said, man, I feel some type of way about it. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. And I can't accuse this dude for something I don't know that happened. DeShaun Watson, a.k.a. Johnny Gill, Mr. Rub Beater. Oh, man. You stop hearing the fire alarm chirp after about 3 days. I'm not sure what that meant. Somebody have to explain that to me. TJ not reading the comments. Otherwise, he might remind Chosen to replace them batteries. No, I haven't been reading them. I've been answering some of the comments. So someone get my dude a 9-volt battery, man. Y'all some fire marshals, man. It's been episodes where people have been guesting and people came in and I just comments, somebody need to change their smoker alarm, man. Y'all on some Smokey the Bear type stuff. A lot of Smokey the Bears up in this thing. But I do want to take the moment because I got to mention this sponsor, man. And if you love the State of Saints podcast, I'm asking you all to support manscaped.com. They are the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. We want to keep this relationship going only if you want to, okay? But manscaped.com, they have been the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast about a year and some change. And they're saying, gentlemen, Father's Day is just around the corner. And our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure all the father figures out there are looking daddy material this June. Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, which includes their signature Lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. That's right. It's no dad joke. Treat him and yourself and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs and all of their grooming needs, okay? So we do have an exclusive offer right now, all right? If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints. It doesn't matter if you spend $100. Don't matter if you spend $10. If you use the promo code State of Saints, you will get 20% off. And also, man, I'm going to even throw this little nugget in there. For any individual that purchase a Manscaped product, show me their receipt, I will send you a free State of Saints podcast t-shirt. Okay, so I'm just asking everybody to support manscaped.com, support the State of Saints podcast. They are the official sponsor of the State of Saints podcast. So I just throw that in there. All right, so let's get back to some of these comments, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Appreciate y'all, man. I know this is a very uncomfortable subject to talk about, but look, man, we don't shy away from any type of topics here, man. We just don't. We have real life conversations, and we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no right or wrong, because I value everyone's opinion, no matter what your opinion is. Even if it's a little bit warped, we'll try to get you there. You know what I'm saying? And there's probably been times where I probably said some things you may not agree with, but that's the beauty of having these type of conversations. And we didn't get an opportunity to have any females chime in or anything like that on this episode this time, but I would love to hear from some of my female listeners and viewers of the podcast. Even if you hit me up, man, state of the Saints at gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter, TJ Jones 8. Just let me know how you feel. Just let me know how you feel. I won't air it out. I won't say anything about it. I would love to hear from you, man, because I know this can be a very uncomfortable situation to, some of the people out there that's been in these type of situations, and definitely females, man, and respect to every female out there. I don't think it's a sex addiction. He grew up with women. He just might be a creep. That don't mean nothing. Honestly, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, let's just be real about this. I mean, the majority of, African Americans grow up in single parent homes, right? I mean, it's like about almost 70% if it ain't 70%. But, don't just mean, what I'm saying, like, just because you was raised by your mother, just because you have females like around, don't mean that you ain't gonna make these type of decisions. I don't think that that's based on that. I think that, look, I love my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom is one of the best parents a person can have. She was a single parent. She raised us. Of course, my grandparents were involved. I got a sister. Parents only can do so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can raise you the right way, but it's up to you to try to apply some of those life lessons. And some people don't. I mean, it's just what it is. Some people don't, man. You can have mother and father. I mean, grow up in the church, like all these different things you can have going for you, but that don't mean that you're going to just make great decisions. And I just think that the brother, at the least, man, he has not made great decisions, and it's unfortunate. And I don't know what his psyche is, man. I don't know what's going on with him. Like, it could be one of those situations where he does have some trauma, or it could be one of those situations where he doesn't know how to handle his success. Like, think about this, man. I mean, you go from, maybe getting a date, maybe, a girl hollering at you or two, listening to what you have to say. And then you go from that to you basically just walk in a room and just become, if you're single and don't have anybody, the most eligible bachelor around, right? Like that song say, I'm cute, but the money make me handsome. There's a song that's out right now, a hip hop song, I guess. You got a lot of money, a lot of attention gonna get on you, and some people don't know how to handle it. Like, they have these different informationals and stuff like that with the NFL. When these young guys come into the league, they talk about like some of the things they're gonna come in contact with, but it's up to those guys to apply it. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with the brother, but I do know this: at the least, there is something clearly going on with him psychologically, man, and you need some help. If you're like if you didn't link up with like 66 different women, okay, some of them are masseuse, articles out saying that some of them weren't, right? You hooking up with them like that, and you got a woman. I think he has a fiance. Something wrong with you, bro. Like, something wrong with you, man. Something is wrong there. Seriously. I mean, sorry. It's a sign that self needs to raise in vibration if the beeping was annoying. Are we still talking about these smoke alarms, man? We still on the smoke alarms. T. Smitty, thank you very much for the $5. Says, I would have trolled y'all every day if the Saints got DeShaun. Even if the Saints landed DeShaun, they wouldn't have been able to address the wide receiver, safety, left tackle, etc. T. Smitty, absolutely right, man. T. Smitty, for those that don't know, supporter of the show, but he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, Jameis Winston fan. He's come on the show, man. He's been very candid, very candid, and open-minded fan, which I can respect. Look, you can like any team that you want, NFC South. I mean, we're all rivals, but I like open-minded fans. I don't like just people just waving the pom-poms with no justifiable reason, like no rhyme, no reason, no logic, no nothing. But the ones that understand and like, okay, I'm a fan, but I put it in this type of perspective. Those are the people that I can respect. Those are people I can roll with and value their opinion, regardless if they're a Saints fan or not. Larry says, who that TJ, the host? Larry, thank you for being here. Jules says the Saints dodged the bullet. Watson is a huge distraction right now. It's time to focus on the upcoming season. Yep, but not for him. He got a lot more. He got bigger things to deal with. What does being raised around a bunch of females have to do with anything? Mocha, that's my whole point. You're not going to make it just because you was raised around women don't mean that you're not, that doesn't mean anything. That don't mean nothing. And just because you had good upbringing, that don't mean nothing. You got people that go to prison from all walks of life. People that grew up in privilege, people that grew up in single parent homes, raised by mother alone, raised by daddy alone, raised by grandparents alone, raised by, like the community, right? You got all these different stories. It does not mean anything. It's up to that individual to apply what has been taught to them. And if they don't, then they may find themselves in situations like DeShaun Watson. All I'm saying is, man, the dude moving and has moved like he's broke. You cannot move like this, bro. You cannot move like this. And if the smoke ever clears, and I don't know what's going to happen with this. Probably the best thing for him to do, and I've heard people say this, it's probably for him to do some settling. You know what I'm saying? Like, to settle out in court. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you're still going to have some scrutiny, but those problems are going to go away. And probably the best bet for you, like, to be honest with you. And hopefully after this situation is over, he learns his lesson. Hopefully his brother get himself some help. But I have to say this, man. With the 66 women that have come out and him talking about it being consensual and him saying that he didn't do anything wrong, I think at the least, man, you got to think about the person that you with or have been with. I'm talking about your girl. Like, don't say that you ain't did nothing wrong. Yes, you did. Because, like, you violated the trust between you and your girl at the most. So you can't say I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, you did. Because a person that loves you and devoted themselves to you, you violated that trust by messing around with the women. So for you to say I've done nothing wrong is narcissistic behavior. Okay. He has to be careful with that, and you got to be careful with some of the things you say, because everything now is going to be evaluated with a fine-tooth comb. Like, even with his press conference, when he joined the Cleveland Browns, he was like, it's not about the money. Yes, it is. It was about the money. Like, nobody believes you when you say stuff like that. Like, of course it was about the money. You mean to tell me that $230 million over 5 years wasn't intriguing to a point where you'd sign with these people? So if they gave you a 5-year, $20 million contract, you still would have signed because it's the Cleveland Browns? Of course not, right? But when you say stuff like that and you roll off the tongue and you don't even think twice about it, people are like, man, the lies can kind of roll off the tongue a little bit. So if he can say this with a straight face at a press conference like this, what makes us think that he can't say that he did nothing wrong when he did something wrong with a straight face outside the courthouse? You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. Prom says some of these chicks, some of those chicks were Manscaped sales reps. I'm not touching that, man. I'm not touching that. Manscaped is a great company. So shouts out to Manscaped. I mean, honestly, man, shouts out to all the people at Manscaped, man. Shouts out to Anne Marie, part of the marketing team. over there, man. Shouts out to everybody that's a part of Manscaped, man. They do a really good job, man. And their products are really good. And I'm not just saying that because they endorse me. It's just the truth. I use the products. TJ, quick question. Thank you, Hoodie Jew, for the $4.99, by the way. If you could sign two of these four, who would you sign? Kyle, Rudolph, wide receiver OBJ, and Ndamukong Suh, or Quan. And great show, like always. Hoodie Jew, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Out of the four, who would I sign? I would first go with the guy that you put first on your list is Kyle Rudolph, because I think he's really good in the red zone. He's a solid blocker. He's good in run blocking. And he has that big frame. And I've always liked Kyle Rudolph from the time where he's been with the Minnesota Vikings. I know some people, roll their eyes when you mention Kyle Rudolph because they feel like he pushed P.J. Williams in that wild card game. But still, I mean, he's a great red zone threat, and he's a solid tight end. I still think he has something left in the tank. If I'm looking at anybody else on the list, I would say Quan Alexander, because I'm familiar with Quan. I think he brings a lot of energy to the team. I think him along with C.D. Deuce, I think that they were like the pulse of the team. You can tell something was missing when both of these guys were injured. When C.D. Deuce was out, you can feel the energy of the defense wasn't the same. Quan Alexander is a guy has been in a huddle, leading some of the pregame rituals. So I definitely feel like those two guys would be beneficial. I have nothing against Ndamukong Suh, but at this particular point in time, I've been very disappointed with Ndamukong Suh's career and his career decisions. To me, Ndamukong Suh never struck me as a guy who wanted to be great. I think that he had great tendencies. Of course, we see that. He's been a great interior lineman, been borderline elite at times, but I don't think he ever lived up to his expectations. And he never struck me as a guy that really wanted to be great. I look at him as a player that understood he had talent, and he's a capitalist. Some people may not know this, but Ndamukong Suh was one of those last individuals as a rookie that got one of those big time contracts, before they start to change the structure during the collective bargaining agreement when the NFL went on strike for that little short period of time when they changed around some of the rookie deals. And Ndamukong Suh was one of those last guys who was to get that big deal. And throughout his career, he bounced around and he sold himself basically to the highest bidder. And it's worked out for him. Of course, he went to the Rams and he got a Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl there. They lost to the Patriots. And then he went to Tampa, signed with them, went to the Super Bowl and won. So it has worked out for him. But he strikes me as more of a guy that's a strategist, more so than a guy that just loves football. I don't think Ndamukong Suh loves football. I think that he's good at it, so he does it. But I don't think that – I just think that he's a capitalist. And to me, I like guys that love football. Those are the guys that I love. I love guys that love football, that value it, that eat, sleep, and breathe the thing, right? And if they don't play it at a high level, then they kick themselves. They're frustrated. Like, to me, he doesn't strike me as a guy who loves the game like some of these other guys do. So I just never been an Ndamukong Suh fan like that. I mean, in college when he played at Nebraska, I mean, I was a huge fan. I mean, I remember that game in the Big 12 championship. This dude straight dominated. Like, he was virtually unguardable, right? I mean, he was a defensive player, man. He was, second in the Heisman Trophy running. I mean, he was a beast. But then, I just feel like he just started to get comfortable in the league, and I just think that all those guys enjoy making money, of course, but I just think that he doesn't want to be great. He just good to a fault because he's just strong as an ox, and you know what I'm saying? Like, he's quick as I don't know what, but I just don't think that I don't think he loves the game of football like elite players should. Thank you very much for the 1999. Board says, I don't fault the Saints for going after Watson, but I'd rather have a for sure thing. We don't know how everything will turn out with Watson. I believe Winston will end up being here for a long time. Thank you very much, Borg, for the 1999. Really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. look, I've always been a Jameis Winston fan. I'm still a Jameis Winston fan, and I will remain a Jameis Winston fan until proven otherwise. Until Jameis Winston, like, emphatically shows me without a shadow of a doubt he is not the guy. Like, I am going to continue to support this dude because I definitely believe that Tampa Bay was a struggling franchise. And at the time, they did not do the things that they're doing for Tom Brady with Jameis Winston. And I don't feel like they really tried to, reel him in some of his limitations. I just think that he was a first overall pick. He was picked to be the savior of the franchise because most first overall picks are supposed to be the savior of the franchise. And nobody ever really, brought anything to his attention as far as like the turnovers and stuff like that. And they definitely didn't try to put offensive line and a running game around him to make sure that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a balanced attack. They only brought in guys who were pass happy guys, right? It was no balance. It was no offensive innovation. It was 7-step, 5-step drops, bombs away, right? We gonna throw the ball 35, 40 times because this dude would have an arm, right? It was never a balance. But I feel like the New Orleans Saints, they want to put a team around him and they want to have a balanced attack. And I just think that is the best fit for him. If you go to college, when Jameis Winston and the Florida State Seminoles won the national championship, who did they have, man? They had a balanced attack, man. They had, Devontae Freeman, right? They had him running out of the backfield. They had him passing the ball, throwing the ball. They didn't have him throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game, right? You had Kelvin Benjamin and, guys like that, but it wasn't throwing the ball all over the place. They were a balanced attack. They were throwing the ball out of the backfield. They was running with Devontae Freeman. And that's what you need in order to help a quarterback not stand in his own way. If you put the ball up 35, 40 times, and then definitely you feel like the weight of a franchise is on your shoulder, of course, you're not going to make the best decisions. You got to have a balanced attack, man. Got to have a balanced attack. And regardless of how great a quarterback is, it's going to come a time where you're going to need the help of a good running game. You think about Aaron Rodgers, the year that they did win a Super Bowl, right? They were running the football, right? They had James Starks, right? You know what I'm saying? They had like guys that would be able to run, the football. And they actually ran the football quite often on their way to that Super Bowl. And of course, Aaron Rodgers was able to do his thing as well. So you need that balanced attack. And I feel like the Saints do that. So people that still holding this dude to what happened in Tampa, still saying 30 for 30, even though he hasn't played and hasn't shown those type of tendencies consistently like that since he left Tampa, people just want to write this guy off. And I am a firm believer that guys can get better. And if you put the right team around them, they will get better. I mean, if that's the case, then we might as well just say that Trevor Lawrence is a hopeless case, right? I mean, now you have Doug Peterson going there, who's a guy that's helped quarterbacks reach their full potential. I mean, if that's the case, then we automatically should say Trevor Lawrence is a failure. But I can't say that. I just think that coaching matters. And Borg also says, well, when Tom Brady shows up, TB replaced 23 other players that year to build around Brady. Never did that with Winston like we have this year. Yeah. And that's what you should do. You should build around a guy. You should build around him. If you feel like the guy has what it takes and he has all the physical tools, man, just got to build around him. Got to make sure that he doesn't get in his own way. TJ, I'm tired of that 30 for 30 talk. Move on. Yeah, that's just lazy commentary at this point. Anybody that's still talking about 30 for 30 is just the fact that they haven't done their due diligence or research to see the things that he's done as a quarterback to improve. I just think that just lazy talk has been the narrative throughout his career for the last 4 or 5 years. And now it just, he's 30 for 30, 30 for 30. It's like you're just basically just saying that stuff to just try to validate the fact that you just don't like the guy. But, I mean, let him do it. As far as I'm concerned, man, Jameis Winston all right with me. And I think the Saints in good shape, him being a signal caller. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate your time. I ask that everybody hit the like button on your way out. If you enjoy the commentary, you like the show, hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. And also Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. And I'm going to try, before I get up out of here, I'm going to try to see if I can put the link to the new Facebook page in the description, because I know there's been a few people asking me about it. There's some people that's been, looking for the State of the Saints. They feel they normally will watch the State of the Saints podcast on Facebook, and they probably think that I don't do the show anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new link down in there, and hopefully, man, if you have not already, just go ahead and hit that hit that follow. We're trying to build it back up, man. It was unfortunate that I lost this page, man, because man, we got up to almost 20,000 followers. So like the page was crazy, man. The way that we worked towards making this page happen, but I'm happy to report that we're almost close to 1,000 followers on the new page. So I'm doing that right now. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in there so everybody can have it. And I ask that everybody just go ahead and follow that, man. I'm putting it in there in the comments right now. So go ahead and hit that link so you'll be able to get right to the page and go ahead and hit that follow. So but also previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. I'm asking everybody to check out the articles that I write on the Who Dat Dish. I'm a contributor, writer for the Who Dat Dish. New article is coming out today at 5. I did an article, man, the 4 reasons why I feel like the Saints don't get respect from national media. Yes, your boy wrote an article about it. Okay, so that's coming out right now, and I have several other articles that are out there that are there for your viewing pleasure. Let me know what you think, man. Make sure that y'all put a comment once you read it, man, so I can know that you read it and get a little feedback, man, to see what I can do and improve as a writer. So thank you all so much. Have a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. And like always, all I got to say is